morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. As always, we're coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Well, this morning too, we are ready to bring to you details of all the top stories from both here at home and around the world. So let's start off with weather news for this morning. The Department of Irrigation says that the Dadru Oya and Maha Oya continue to remain at flood risk levels. According to the department, the Dadru Oya is currently at a flood risk level in Moragasweber, while the Maha Oya has reached a similar level in Badalgama. Engineer Sakura Dilthara of the Hydrology and Disaster Management Division of the Department of Irrigation has urged the public to remain alert and vigilant regarding the prevailing flood conditions in these regions. Now, meanwhile, the Department of Railways says that several upcountry train services have been cancelled today due to ongoing adverse weather conditions. At present, train operations along the upcountry line are limited to Ramukkana, while services between Kandy and Badulla continue to operate as scheduled. Train movement along the upcountry line was disrupted following the derailment of an intercity express train travelling from Kandy to Colombo Fort on Sunday evening. The Department of Railways reported 10 incidents of earth slips and mudslides along the route, with 2 between Kadigamua and Ihalakote stations and 8 between the Ihalakote and Balana stations. Now, as a result, 24 train services were cancelled yesterday, according to the department's statement. A large mound of soil collapsed onto the track near Ihalakote railway station on Sunday evening, causing major disruptions. The Department of Railway workers have begun clearing the debris early yesterday morning, and restoration activities are still underway. According to our Newsfirst correspondent, department staff are continuing their efforts to repair and restore the damaged track. Now, due to the derailment, several train services, including the night mail train, were cancelled last night. The Department of Railways further stated that the 4:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. office trains from Kandy to Colombo Fort, as well as the 6:15 a.m. intercity express from Kandy to Colombo, have been cancelled today. In addition, the 5:55 a.m. Podimanike train from Colombo Fort to Badulla and the 8:30 a.m. Udaratamanike train from Colombo Fort to Badulla have also been cancelled. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organisation says that the landslide warnings issued for 11 districts continue to remain in effect. The affected areas include Matara, Badulla, Colombo, Kaluthara, Gaul, Kandy, K-Gaul, Kurunagala, Matale, Nuwara Eliya and Ratnapura. Senior geologist Dr. Basanta Senadira of the NBRO stated that the recent continuous rainfall has left soil in the hill country areas heavily saturated with water, increasing the risk of landslide. He advised residents living in landslide-prone areas to remain vigilant and to move to safer locations if any early signs of ground movement or instability are observed. Dr. Senadira also requested the public to inform their Gram Niladari officers and divisional secretariats if such situations occur, and to follow official safety instructions provided by the local authorities. Additionally, he urged motorists and roadside vendors in these vulnerable areas to act with caution and, if possible, to avoid operating in hazardous locations until the conditions improve. The Disaster Management Centre, meanwhile, says that 583 people from 144 families in 4 districts have been affected by the prevailing heavy rainfall. According to the DMC, 10 people have been temporarily housed in safe locations. The affected districts are Kurunagala, Anuradhapura, Gaul and K-Gaul. Among them, 473 people are from Kurunagala, 153 from Anuradhapura, 76 from Gaul. Meanwhile, 2 deaths have been reported due to rain-related incidents. Now, in Thamuttegama, Anuradhapura, a 57-year-old man died after being swept away by flood waters, while the second fatality was reported from Dehiovita in the K-Gaul district, where a 50-year-old man lost his life under similar circumstances. The number of partially damaged houses stands at 142. Director of the Disaster Management Centre, Pradeep Kodikpili, stated that the public should contact the number 117, which is the emergency hotline, during any disaster situation. He further stated that all district disaster management units are operating 24 hours a day, while tri-forces and police have been deployed continuously to assist in disaster response operations. On to the weather forecast for today now. The Met Department says that the low-level atmospheric disturbance located to the east of Sri Lanka continues to persist. The department stated that there is a possibility of it developing into a low-pressure area within the next 24 hours. As a result of this influence, cloudy skies are expected over many parts of the island. Showers or thunder showers may occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, southern, northwestern and northern provinces. The department further noted that heavy rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters may occur in some areas of these provinces. As always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Meanwhile, the Met Department has also requested the fisheries and naval communities operating in the deep and shallow sea areas around the island to remain attentive to the prevailing weather conditions. Up next is your sports news for this morning. The Women's Cricket World Cup 2025 match between Pakistan and South Africa will be played today at the R. Premadasa International Cricket Stadium in Colombo, starting at 3 p.m. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka defeated Bangladesh by 7 runs in their group stage encounter, the 21st match of the tournament held in Navi Mumbai, India. Winning the toss, Sri Lanka opted to bat first, with captain Chamari Athapattu and Vishmi Gunaratne opening the innings. However, Gunaratne was dismissed without scoring, bringing in Hasini Pereira to the crease. Athapattu and Pereira built a solid 72-run partnership for the second wicket, guiding Sri Lanka to a strong position. During the innings, Chamari Athapattu surpassed 4,000 runs in one-day internationals or ODIs, becoming the first Sri Lankan woman to reach this milestone and the 4th Asian woman overall to do so. Athapattu, who has scored 9 centuries and 20 half-centuries in ODIs, made 46 runs in this particular match. Hasini Pereira scored her maiden ODI half-century, top scoring with 85 runs. Sri Lanka were bowled out for 202 runs in 48.4 overs. In reply, Bangladesh lost 3 early wickets for 44 runs before a strong 82-run partnership between Nigar Sultana and Shamin Akhtar revived their innings. Sultana scored 77 while Akhtar remained unbeaten on 64. Sri Lankan captain Chamari Athapattu starred with the ball, taking 4 wickets for 42 runs in a brilliant spell. Bangladesh, chasing 203, were restricted to 195 for 9 in their allotted 50 overs, giving Sri Lanka a 7-run victory. Now, all matches of the 2025 ICC Women's Cricket World Cup are being broadcast live on TV1, the official local broadcasting rights holder of the tournament, and streamed online via www.sirasatv.lk. With that, let's move on to more local news this morning. Schools in the eastern, Sabaragamuwa, Uva and central provinces that conduct classes in Tamil medium have been granted a holiday today. The Ministry of Education stated that the decision was made following requests from these schools in view of the Deepavali festival. The holidays were granted at the provincial level with the approval of the respective governors. Meanwhile, 6 students have been injured following a clash between 2 groups of students at the Faculty of Agriculture of the University of Ruhuna. Police said that the incident had occurred as a heated argument during a cricket match escalated into a confrontation between second-year and third-year students. The injured students have been admitted to the Karapitiya hospital. Meanwhile, police stated that 21 third-year students have been arrested in connection with this incident. They are scheduled to be produced before the Mathura Magistrates Court today. Now, a shooting has been reported targeting a house in Mahavatta, Hikkaduwa. Police said that the 2 individuals who arrived on a motorcycle had opened fire at the residence at around 10 to 10:30 p.m. last night, discharging 4 rounds before fleeing the scene. Police media spokesman, Assistant Superintendent of Police Frederick Wurtler, stated that no injuries were reported in this incident. The shooting had been carried out using a T-56 firearm. Police suspect that a personal dispute may have led led to this incident. Well, the Parliament will convene today at 9:30 a.m. under the leadership of Speaker Dr. Karunaratne. The House is scheduled to sit throughout this week until Friday, according to decisions made at the Parliamentary Business Committee chaired by the Speaker. Now, today the orders under the National Medicines Regulatory Authority Act 2015 are scheduled to be presented and approved in Parliament. The Minister of Health will present the orders with the vote scheduled for 5 p.m. In addition, the Personal Data Protection Amendments Bill will be presented this afternoon for approval in Parliament. Debate is also scheduled for tomorrow on the regulation published in the Extraordinary Gazette number 2451/10 under the Special Commodity Levy Act, as well as provisions under the Excise Ordinance. Furthermore, the discussion on the government's proposed national program for combating drugs and organised crime and strengthening the legal framework will take place on Thursday, following a motion to adjourn the debate. The Inter-Parliamentary Union or IPU Assembly is being held in Geneva, Switzerland these days. A delegation of government and opposition members of the Sri Lankan Parliament is representing the country at this particular assembly. Deputy Minister of Public Security Sunil Battagala is scheduled to address the assembly today. The IPU Assembly is set to conclude on the 23rd of this month. Meanwhile, Commissioner General of Motor Traffic Kamal Amar Singh has said that the printing of driver's licenses has been returned to the Department of Motor Traffic, suspending involvement of the private sector. He explained that while driver's licenses printing had previously been outsourced to the private sector, the department has now resumed printing operations by itself. The Commissioner General also stated that the necessary printing machines have been purchased and machines have already been installed at 3 locations in Berhara, one in Anuradhapura and another in Hambantota. In the near future, printing operations will be expanded to include Badulla and Kurunegala districts, with 1 machine installed in each. The Commissioner General said that approximately 60,000 driver's licenses will be issued each month. Up next is international news this morning. US President Donald Trump and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese have signed an agreement on rare earth and critical minerals as China tightens control over the global supply. The 2 leaders signed the deal on Monday at the White House. Trump said the agreement had been negotiated over 4 or 5 months. The 2 leaders will also discuss trade, submarines and military equipment, according to Trump. Albanese described it as an $8.5 billion pipeline that they have ready to go. A copy of the agreement provided by the Prime Minister's office said that the 2 countries will each invest $1 billion over the next 6 months into mining and processing projects. They also set a minimum price floor for critical minerals, a move that Western miners have long sought. China has the world's largest rare earth reserves, according to the US Geological Survey data, but Australia also has significant reserves. Meanwhile, Amazon says it has mostly fixed an underlying issue behind a major outage that led to widespread connectivity issues for businesses, popular websites and apps around the world that rely on Amazon Web Services or AWS, which is the company's cloud service. The company said yesterday that a cloud computing unit at a data center in Northern Virginia had largely contained the impact of the massive internet outage that affected popular apps such as Zoom, Roblox, Fortnite, Duolingo, Canva and Wordle, along with government agencies and global businesses. In an update in its status page, AWS said it had successfully restored EC2 instance launch throttles to pre-event levels, and EC2 launch failures have recovered across all availability zones in the US East 1 regions. AWS provides on-demand computing power, data storage and other digital services to companies, governments as well as individuals. Well, that's a wrap of this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. Thank you for joining us this morning. Do join us tomorrow as well for more of the very latest from here at home and around the world. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.